Community Shield as well. So, I mean, he's only missed one league title from where he's ever been. You know, cheers to Zlatan, the Lion, the God, everything you want, anything you want to call him. And have a good retirement. You know, his son is already playing for AC Milan's B team. Who knows? Maybe we'll see young Ibrahimovic in the near future. And just the final topic. There's no Savage Slaughterhouse, obviously, but we will stay in tune with transfers. Last topic, off of football, NBA Finals, and does the Joker have the wild card? See what I did there? But no pun intended. Nikola Jokic, another triple-double. Miami, another disgusting performance, another horrendous performance, another lackluster performance, another below-average performance. And I mean, come on, they should have never made it to the final. I mean, I was having discussion when Derek White hit that last second shot, that last tip in with 0.1 to go. And we're talking with some friends, and they were like, "There's no team that ever came from 3-0 down, but they hope it would have been Boston, you know, my Celtics, because if Miami goes, it's not gonna be fun at all. Butler could put up 40, Bam could put up 30, Strus could hit 5 threes." But there's nobody stopping Jamal Murray or Nikola Jokic. And the thing is, when you double those two, you still got MPJ on in the corner, wide open. You got Aaron Gordon, who was tearing Miami apart. They basically left him unmarked and went everything on Jokic and Murray, and that was the result. They absolutely got annihilated until they changed the game plan. Listen, this final should be over. When's game 4? I think game 3 is on Wednesday. So game 4 is probably Friday or Saturday. And by next week, we should be meeting again and saying the NBA Finals is over. Because there is no real I mean, I've said this many a times. Denver does not have an atmosphere in their stadium, in their arena. They have no idea what it feels like to have an audience, have fans cheering for them. It's always quiet until they do something that's really, really extraordinary, like a Jokic 3 from deep, or Murray hit step back jumper. Doesn't matter. They don't have that. So going to an away place, no matter how good the atmosphere is, it's normal. They don't usually hear anything but whistles and silence when they go forward anyway. So they're the hardest opponents to play in this finals. And if Boston was there, I mean, it's definitely going 6 games at least, because you know Boston gonna fuck around in the first 3. You know that. But no, listen, Denver will win this because Miami don't know the game plan. Miami's game plan is to shut down Jokic. Well, that's a horrible game plan. If you shut down Jokic, you're gonna lose the game. Denver only lose games when Jokic scores more than 35 points. That's it. If you make Jokic score all the points, that's it. They've lost. They have lost, and you've given yourself a chance. But if you allow Jokic to be getting 10, 12, 15 assists per game, what's the point in even trying to fight for game 5? There's no point. No point at all. But you know, guys, no Savage Slaughterhouse, but we do have some transfers that we need to speak about. We were mentioning some within the week, and we're going to touch on them right after this quick break here. Again, happy retirement to Zlatan Ibrahimovic. We'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Tune in for the offline tour. Like and subscribe some more. Big Jackson, Brian, and Randy Savage. Me talk about GZ Sports. Tune in for the offline tour. Like and subscribe some more. Big Jackson, Brian, and Randy Savage. Me talk about GZ Sports.
And we are back. This time, as I said, we do have a transfer segment. Not Savage Slaughterhouse, obviously. Definitely not Savage Slaughterhouse. Can't replace that. We cannot replace it. Cannot. But anyway, you know, we are back. We did go out. You know, we're closing in on the transfer window around Europe this season. For this year. And there are a lot of news going around, a lot of things that need to be cleared up, and that's where we come in, or in this case, I. Firstly, focusing on Premier League clubs and clubs that got relegated. James Maddison. Now, Leicester know they're not going to keep James Maddison. He's an England international. He has been on the radar of some of the big clubs in the country since last summer, which was some moves were rejected. We all remember Newcastle, Arsenal had an interest. West Ham as well. Don't rule them out of possibly having a look in on James Maddison. But from the information I've gathered, there are going to be bids coming in. And Newcastle have actually softened their interest, if you might say it that way. They have their eyes on other people. I'm going to mention the name of those other people later in this segment. But right now, Maddison is a bit further down the list. They are looking at Scott McTominay, yes. McTominay is down the list as well. He's not a first choice option for the position they're looking at. Right? Basically, Newcastle are looking for two midfielders, one more creative than the other. They are looking at a right winger. That's where Moussa Diaby's name keeps getting thrown around. And they are looking for possibly another centre-half, because behind Shea and Botman, it's Lascelles and no one. So they are looking at another centre-half, just for depth. You know, they may look for a goalkeeper. There are people saying that Diogo Costa might be going to Newcastle because he's officially done at Porto. That, I feel, is a stretch. Costa, anywhere he's going to go, he's going to want to be the first choice immediately. Nick Pope had a wonderful season last season. He was, I think, joint second for the Golden Glove in his first year at Newcastle. He's going to be in the Champions League. They're not going to replace him. Now, Dubravka, Carl Darlow, possibly even Loris Karius are all going to be out the door in the summer. This summer. Maybe they go out and get a backup goalkeeper. Maybe they do go out and get a Gavin Bazunu from Southampton. Maybe he wants to be a first choice. Who knows? But right now, on the Maddison front, expect bids from Leicester. They're going to be much lower. Last summer, they wanted 60 million. They've been relegated. Hearing that price may be even less than halved for James Maddison. So you're looking at something between the likes of 35 and 25 million pounds for James Maddison. Next up on the agenda, though, that is Romeo Lavia. Now, everybody knows Romeo Lavia, the Southampton kid, 19 years old, bossing midfields at Old Trafford and at the Etihad. Really talented player. City do have a buyback clause on him for around 40 million. Early in this, and this is what people don't get, I think. Yes, City have the buyback clause. Yes, City has the first choice to go out and get him. But Guardiola, after they played them on the South Coast, or before the game, they asked him about Lavia, and he said he's glad he actually made the move because he needed to play. And it makes no sense for him to sit on the bench when he's this talented a player. It wouldn't make any sense for him to even be at Man City because of what he is. Now, those plans might change, and I understand why people think that. Gundogan's free. De Bruyne already is fading himself out of the lineup. And they don't really have any more midfielders apart from that. They have Rodri, Phillips, Foden can play there. Bernardo Silva is on his way out as well. Don't forget him. So maybe they do go in for Lavia. But with Man City, the talk is always a Joshua Kimmich or a Frankie de Jong. But we're not talking about City. We're talking about Lavia. Now, clubs interested. We've heard this for months. Manchester United. Chelsea actually put a £50 million bid down in January, which Southampton rejected. I don't know if Chelsea will be still involved as they've signed as they have gotten closer to securing a deal for Manuel Ugarte from Sporting, and they're still in for Caicedo. I don't see them going for Lavia as well. Right now, Manchester United look likely. There were reports a few months ago that I can confirm United did meet with his father, who is his age, acting as his agent. And also, you could look at even other clubs that just survived. Everton, but I've not heard anything official from either side, from the Evertons, the West Hams, or the Nottingham Forests either. So we'll keep an eye out on Romeo Lavia. As I said, Manchester United do look likely. And he does play the position that they need to fill. I mean, they are going for Mason Mount, yes. But he does play in a deeper role than a Mason Mount. He plays in a similar role to Casemiro. If you've ever watched Southampton last season, it was him and Ward-Prowse in the midfield. It was always just a two in midfield. Ward-Prowse goes forward, he stays back. So he does play that role. He's a young player, so he will know the developmental role. And I mean, he'll know Casemiro is the best holding midfielder in world football. So, he'll be content with that. And I think it's not a bad thing for Romeo Lavia. Tielemans. Okay. Alright, so I'll answer that about Tielemans actually. I'll answer about Tielemans. Yuri Tielemans, I said his goodbyes to Leicester. The problem with Yuri Tielemans is that a year ago, Arsenal, Man United, Barcelona, all of those clubs wanted Yuri Tielemans. Leicester said no. In January, Leicester said they'd prefer losing him for free. Obviously, he's already a free agent by then. He can talk to clubs. But he was constantly injured. He put in horrible performances from time to time. He is a good player, but Yuri Tielemans has really cost himself a massive move. Now, instead of joining Arsenal on a free this summer, you could easily see Yuri Tielemans, or even a Newcastle, because they were heavily interested after they missed out on Maddison. They tried to secure him later in the window. Leicester said no. Foolish decision. And I don't get that, actually. I know what this is just about transfers, but Leicester could have made around 90 to 100 million on Maddison and Tielemans last season. But they said no, they prefer to keep them. Now they've lost Tielemans for nothing, and they're going to lose Maddison for less than half the price. And I don't get it, because you sure showed me, right? You didn't take all this money I was giving you. You decided to just let me have this one for free and this one for half the price. That's perfect business. I mean, sometimes you have to look and see the position you're in and say, okay, yes, let's just do it. Are you going to sign a contract? No. Get him out. I've never understood why teams in certain positions do that type of thing. I mean, these two players aren't in the segment. Mason Mount, Harry Kane. Man United interested in both players. Tottenham would rather lose Kane on a free, and same with Chelsea, than quote unquote strengthen a rival. Now, all I have to say is, you sure showed United, instead of taking 160 million from them in 2023, they just go out, they wait a year, they get stopgaps, and they get Kane for free and Mount for free in 2024. You really showed them. They're still there. It makes no sense. It's either you cash in now and hurt them with the money you get, or you lose them for free and you get hurt with the players. Either way, and then you're going to have to dip in your own pocket to get money. It's very foolish. It's just very foolish. And back to Newcastle. I said there were other players they were looking at apart from Maddison. Dominic Szoboszlai, he is a top target, and that's been confirmed from the German reports and from Florian Plettiberg. Wow, it's at Plettigol on Twitter. What's wrong with me? Yeah, it's been confirmed he is a top target. Newcastle were always looking for an attacking midfielder. Because they do have Guimaraes, but he stays a bit deeper. They need someone to be able to link the midfield and the attack. Now, that has been mostly Isaac or Murphy tucking in and getting the ball and moving forward, or Wilson dropping deep. But now they're looking to make the splash. The Premier League money boys, they don't want to drop out of the Champions League conversation. They want to be there forever. They do want to be there for as long as time will tell. Newcastle are going to start spending big. The thing is, they're going to have the rules to do that, because when it comes to financial fair play, Newcastle's revenue has always been one of the highest in the Premier League in regards to attendance. match receipts, season tickets, things like that, they've always been one of the highest. If you realize, even in seasons when Rafa Benitez is in charge playing